Hello, thank you for joining another episode of Money Work for Regular People. I am your gracious host, Glenn, and I welcome my friends to view this episode. And so, um, today I'm going to entitle this. Sometimes I have the titles of the episodes, and sometimes I don't. I've been working with this title. Um, you are hired to get fired. Um, and I've had this title, this concept, ever since December when I was placed on a PIP plan, and a PIP means performance improvement plan. And of course, I was eventually let go January 10th, and so I was terminated. Let's be real, because transparency is key, for the information that I communicate on this show. And I pride myself on being as transparent as possible, as honest as I could possibly be. And so I don't want to color words and make it less significant than what it was. So, or more significant for that matter. So, with that being said, um, initially this topic, was, to support my theory that we all need to establish and contribute a emergency fund in our bank accounts, um, and just maintain it anyway. And of course, I still feel that way. However, I like to reintroduce another concept, to this idea that we all are hired to eventually get fired. And this is like really true. We don't really think about it in that sense. Whenever we get hired on jobs, we take on the belief that that job is our job. And of course, companies don't necessarily do anything to refute that belief, but it's not your job. It's their job. They hired you for a job because they had a position of need that needs to be filled, and they thought that you were one of the best candidates for that position. And there you are. You're at the job and you're working, but it's not your job because you can't protect it. You can't get insurance against being terminated. And in many states, they can fire you at will. So you have to keep these things in mind, as you live your life and progress through life. And most people kind of just take their jobs as something that's granted and that's automatic, and that it's something that they can control through their performance. And while that might be the case to some degree in many jobs, for the most part, you can't really control whether or not you get fired. And it's a flawed way of thinking when you really think about the idea of interviewing for a job and then subsequently being offered, made an offer from HR. You don't know what that job environment is like. You can only go by what you have been told. In fact, I didn't know what my job environment was going to be like. I thought it was going to be the same as it was when I previously worked at this company, but in a different role and a different capacity. Um, but But instead, this was a totally different division of the company. In fact, it still had its original, um, original business name from being acquired a few years ago. Okay, and the the what I call the culture or the environment, and see, that's another thing. You got to take into consideration that sometimes the culture varies from team to team, even. Okay, so you don't know how well you're going to fit into this job. And I kind of took for granted that, okay, I'm a hardworking person. Um, I'm accustomed to excelling at my job, um, and I'm not going to do anything um, to purposely get fired. So, of course, I had to learn my lesson. Even though I was pretty, wise to these things in the first place, but I had to really learn my lesson in my recent termination, and and now I'm sharing it with you, and so you don't know how well you're gonna fit in these companies. You don't know whether or not you're gonna be a good fit for. Um, you'd like to think that you'd be a good fit for the managers that's there, but what happened in my case is, and this should have been a red flag to me, in retrospect, but at the same time, I try to have a positive attitude about it because I hadn't been working for 14 months, over a year. So what happened was the manager that I was going to directly report to, she ended up quitting before I even started the job. And then the section manager that I reported to, not that I don't directly report to, but that runs the department. She quit about 3 or 4 weeks later. So that right there, those two things happening, can cause a lot of turmoil. And so the manager that replaced my previous manager, um, I felt like I got along well with her, and I don't have any bad things to say about her. Um, and things really didn't change a whole lot until the section manager changed, and then I got to meet him, and me and him did not get off on the. We did not have. I could tell like there was not. I did not make a good impression on him, and in turn, I didn't really like the vibes I was getting from him as well. So and there was no particular confrontation or anything like that. Um, you know, like when we first met, like we pretty much were just kind of like it seemed like in the Zoom that we were just trying to size each other up, because I consider myself an alpha type dude, and I don't say that, you know, uh based on dating or anything like that. I'm actually not really happy about with the Manosphere on YouTube and Facebook and the internet has evolved to. Um, I think it's pandering. It's really pandering to a lot of mediocrity in a lot of mediocre men. It's not really, and these are my opinions. It's really like just kind of like cheering on, this mediocre, energy from a bunch of, overgrown men who are in their 30s and 40s, and some who are in their 20s too, um, who are just angry at the world because for whatever reason they don't get the kind of interactions with women that they would like. Well, I'm pretty upset with the pandemic because I'm not getting the interactions with women that I would like. I'm not getting any interaction at all. And going on these apps and stuff and trying to meet a woman really sucks. But that's beyond the point. I do not support any kind of bashing of women. And so, but I digress. But no, I just wanted to explain like the alpha versus alpha type of dynamic. And so, he's trying to mark his territory. I'm trying to mark mine because I don't back down. I don't care who you are. If you're a person who's worthy of respect, then respect is given. If not, then I'm not going to, just go out of my way to disrespect you. I'm just going to try to go around you and try to do my job. And so that's the that was the lasting impression that I had from my first impression of this guy, until I eventually got fired. And he kind of took some joy and satisfaction in that, in his remarks. He operates with no empathy whatsoever. And you know, and of course, I'm a survivor, so I'm going to move on. I have resilience, and I'm just going to make the best of the situation, because that's what I'm going to do. In that time frame, well, starting in December, when I was just kind of like, playing with it, with the concept of YouTube. I'm still playing with the concept of YouTube. Um, you know, um, I've created thus far. I've created 22 videos as of February 6th. Two of them haven't published yet, so really there's only 20 videos that's available as of February 6th, 3:49 in the morning. Um, and so now I'm just trying to get back on topic. But I'm pretty proud of like what I've done thus far. Now it's just a matter of getting my primary second job, and all that means is I already have a work from home job lined up to start in about a month or so. Now I'm just trying to get an actual primary job that's going to be, what I'm going to consider my primary job that's going to pay more significantly. And then we can get cooking, like like mama's cooking, seasons. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, not to dwell on the past, but you know, we are hired to get fired because if we don't fit within the company culture in any kind of way, and we're not a good fit, production wise, which I was told I wasn't a good fit production wise. Um, they're gonna get you out of there as soon as possible, or as soon as they can do it. And for him, it took 5 months. So, and you have to be aware of these things. And so, you might think that I'm joking when I say, most employees go without, adequate savings, and that you need to have an emergency fund. Well, this is why. And like I have one, and my money's tight. You know what I'm saying? Um, so with that being said, you have to prepare yourself. You better hope for the best, but prepare yourself for things going wrong and not working out to plan, because that's what real life is sometimes. Sometimes real life doesn't work to plan, and then what? You still have to be a man. You still have to pay your bills. You still have to, be responsible out here. And so most employees, most workers in general, just do not save for bad outcomes. They don't save for a rainy day, you know. And sometimes your rainy day may, come from losing your job. And so, what do you do in that instance, right? I don't know, just heard something. You know, in all these years, in the three, going on 4 years I've owned this house, I still haven't gotten used to the random noises and things of that nature that it tends to make. But I think everything's okay. I'm just gonna check something on here. Um, but anyway, so in case you were thinking that, oh, the best way to go is to hold on to a steady job, I'd say consider the fact that when you enter a job, you're typically hired to get fired if you don't fit, if you're not the right fit. Um, it's good to also weigh your options, because staying at that job and you're starting to get passed on promotions and things like that, um, can really delay your career and your earnings. Now, I'm not suggesting that you leave your job if your job rejects you for a promotion. Maybe it's not for you the first time, and you should come back and try to reapply again for a that same opportunity or similar opportunity, right? Well, you have to also think about, what do you want your career path to be in the next two steps, or think of it as the next two promotions. You know, what is that aligned to, and how do you want that to align? And you got to think about it real early on, because and when I say real early on, I'm saying within the first 6 months of you working there, after you've gotten a chance to get your feet wet, learn the job, and learn the hierarchy and things of that nature. Find out, you know, what you want your progressions to be, or what they look like, and go for it. And after if you're still not getting any success there, but you've thought about this process in depth, you've taken on projects and can explain them, then you might want to consider going to another company where you might get a pay raise through joining another company. And so it's something to consider no matter what your occupation is. If you haven't watched the video from the content creator um, Life After Layoff, or A Life After Layoff, I'm sorry, definitely watch the video on how to move up in your career, why a steady job is bad for your career. And I'm going to leave that link in the description of this video. And I think I'm going to end here. If you've enjoyed this video, please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. It's good for me, it's good for you, and it's good for YouTube to know that I put out good content and quality content. So, I am your gracious host of making money work for regular people, and I'm out. I'll see you next time. Peace.